Alrighty, so as I stated in the previous video, I once again broke my GoPro mod. At first I had limited audio, then I completely lost all audio, so please bear with me on having to do the voiceovers throughout this video. Otherwise, it would be like watching a silent movie from the 20s, well, only in color and 4K. After leaving the Verbo, we headed out to meet some of my lifelong friends at Pop's Diner in Maggie Valley. Our friends Paula and Charlotte own the Cardinal Inn that has 10 rooms. So if you're ever staying in Maggie Valley, be sure to check out their motel. It's a great little setup and they will treat you right, I promise.
Let's see what's over here.
All right, boys, here we are. What's it called? The World of Wheels? I think this is a World of Wheels. Yeah, the Wheels Through Time is what. There's a sign. It's supposed to be one of the foremost motorcycle museums in the United States. Maggie Valley. After a great breakfast, we ventured over to the Wheels Through Time Motorcycle Museum in Maggie Valley. The $15 admission is a small price to pay to see the incredible history inside the museum. If you ride motorcycles, this museum is a must-see. Made, and it was in the same family for 110 years. As we began our journey towards Andrews, North Carolina, we soon discovered that many of our plotted roads were either closed or only open to local folks who happened to have the proper permitting. Some of the closed roads that we came across were access to the BIA land, which we understood, but there were several of the closed tracks that belonged to the National Forest. It was sort of perplexing that public taxpayer-funded roads were only open to local residents. So, we begrudgingly honored the limited access roads and began the slow process of having to replot some of our route. After a couple of more road closures, we were finally back on our established route. Or so we thought. As we were riding up a paved mountain road, we passed by a man who was frantically waving his arms. I told the guys I was going to circle back to see what he was waving about. As it turned out, this gentleman owned 500 acres that the road was going through. He advised that they also had to close off the roads and throw up gates, just as the other permitted roads that we had come across. He explained that all of the roads had been gated or permitted about 2 months prior to our arrival. It was a result of several factors. Of course, people were using the roads to dump trash. The local side-by-side rentals were wreaking havoc on the roads and tearing them up. Thus, he said that the tribe and the National Forest Service had done a poor job on getting the information out, as none of the roads are currently marked as closed on either Gaia or Ride with GPS. So once again, we had to make adjustments and move on the fly. Even with all the research that I did trying to identify the status of the roads that we were navigating on our 4-day traverse, I can attest to the fact that plotted apps don't always show the true status of roads or if the roads are even actually roads. Our motto became, what's an adventure if it's not an adventure? Well, that was next to our motto is, come ride with us and we guarantee that you're going to get lost. That stood true as usual. Okay, it wasn't all doom and gloom. On the positive side, we reaffirmed that things happen for a reason. The replotting led us through some of the most beautiful paved twisties in the western North Carolina mountains. We also finally found some glorious dirt road that we didn't expect to find. Okay, maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. Because once again, we found a closed road, which was Tellico Road, which did actually show open on the internet searches. However, we adapted and we adjusted, and it worked out great because we were treated to a great ride alongside the Little Tennessee River on one of the nicest dirt roads that you ever find, which is called Needmore Road. This spectacular road led us up to a suspension bridge that we had no idea was there.
North Carolina is gated off, closed off. The Cherokee's got it closed off. It's been a horrible, I won't say a horrible day of riding, but if you're wanting to do dirt, it's been horrible. But we did find this little beauty that we wouldn't have found. So you never know what you're going to find along the way. Alrighty, nice swinging suspension bridge. Oh yeah, it's swinging. You guys are fat. Look at this. Look at that river.
There's no signal here whatsoever. Holy shit.
Suspension bridge is cool. We would have never found it if the roads hadn't been shut down. So, not all was lost.
Due to the late start and visiting the museum, not to mention the countless stops for rerouting, the day was starting to slip away. So we decided to forego the section that was going to lead us to Robbinsville and start making our way south to the Verbo and Andrews. On the way south to Andrews, we passed the rafting area along the Nantahala National Forest River. I think that it made us question if we were on the right thrill ride at the moment, as the coolness of the Nantahala definitely looked pretty inviting. The place was loaded with tourists who were out on the rafts and kayaks.
All right, so maybe not all is lost. We came across so many closed roads that were like Cherokee, and we did a little research and we talked to a neighbor, and basically tourists have been up there trashing the roads with side-by-sides. The Verbos are killing it. People are dumping trash. So they've got a ton of roads closed off.
So as I mentioned, looking ahead on the Garmin, I noticed that the west end of Wine and Stair Gap Road was closing in on our current route. We were supposed to have traveled from the east side of Wine and Stair Gap in order to get over to the Verbo. We still had daylight, so we decided, what the heck, we're here. Let's take a little bit of ride up and see what we actually had missed. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, things happen for a reason. And the road closures probably turned out to be a good thing in the long run, because it put us behind our schedule, which led us to being able to help someone out. We came across a young lady and her dog that had a flat tire on her minivan. So we stopped and asked her if she needed help, and she definitely was in need of help. It was funny because when we asked her about the spare tire, she said that her dad said it was supposed to be underneath the center console. We sort of scratched our heads, as none of us had ever seen or heard of anything like that before. Luckily, Joe was able to get some internet service, and he Googled how to access the spare tire. We ended up changing the spare tire, and we were able to pump up the spare, which was almost flat in itself, and get her and the pooch on the way. So again, by being delayed a little bit, in the long run, it worked out good, because she was definitely going to be in a pickle if we hadn't come along.
So maybe us getting lost and diverted 20 times today put us out on this road late on purpose, or by fate. We ran across a young lady with a flat tire and her dog. So we're going to change her tire. This is Wine and Stair Gap Road in North Carolina. Look at Hank doing his good job. Dallas, he threw dirt all over you. That's awesome.
Damn supervisor got dirt slung all over him.
Here's the good thing.
You can't get no good help anymore.
There's one thing that's for sure. We are not NASCAR crew material.
You know, this never would have happened in D.C.
Hey, you know what? And thank God for YouTube, huh?
Yeah, for real.
All right, so let's do a little bit of a dad talk here. So we got the young lady's tire fixed. While we were repairing her car, a friend of hers that she was able to get a hold of, she drove up to meet her. She was sort of standoffish a little bit, like, who are these four guys that are helping my friend out? At the end of the day, we got her tire fixed and we got her turned around so she could head back. And basically, we were sort of a little bit surprised and shocked as we talked a little bit later about it. Not that we ever really expected anything, but we got like one simple thank you as she was driving away, and that was pretty much it. Her friend who showed up never even gave the courtesy of saying, hey, thanks, helping my friend out, whatever the case may be. So, not really a big deal, but, it's a younger generation. But the shocking part was we drove up the road about 10 minutes where she was originally headed to the reservoir. She had told us that there's a platform where everybody goes up and they jump off and they swim in a platform. So once we arrived up there, there was another 4 girls and another guy. And like I said, these were all mid-20s ages, somewhere in there. And we spoke to them and we said, listen, your friend told us you guys may be up here. We got her tire fixed and she's turned around and she's going back, home. So surprisingly to us, they're like, yeah, she called us about an hour and a half ago and told her she had a flat tire and she was waiting on some help. Mind you, that these kids, and I say kids, they were young adults, were literally 10 minutes away from their friend who was stranded in the middle of the damn forest, and they didn't go help her. It was the most perplexing thing that I've ever seen in my life. So we decided to call it a day because, after all, if there's one thing the Mild Hogs don't do, we tend not to go hungry. So we made a beeline south. Like I said, we skipped Robbinsville and we made it down to downtown Andrews and found a great restaurant called the Happy Trout
Brewing Company. And they got live music going, so we're doing it. Let's rock it.
After dinner, we made our way up the mountain, which was truly on a mountain, and we found the Verbo that had the most incredible mountain view ever. Even with all the route issues, we truly had a full day. We had a great breakfast with old friends, visited an awesome motorcycle museum, laid down some miles, walked over a nice suspension bridge, and we actually got to help a young lady in distress. Not only that, we got to end the night with a great dinner in downtown Andrews. Sitting on the deck overlooking the mountain vista, we all agreed that any kind of riding is way better than a day of work. So, in our books, that's definitely a win-win.